Hey guys, thank you so much for joining in. We'll be starting on time. In the meantime, if you've got any question, please feel free to let me know in the chat window, folks. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you're able to hear my voice. Can any one of you please confirm on the chat window whether you can hear my voice? A quick confirmation, please, in the chat window. Okay, thank you, Darshan, Rakshit. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much again, everyone, for joining me on this live session on Machine Learning Fundamentals Unit for the NVIDIA Certified Associate Generative AI LLMs examination. Now, before we get started, guys, I just want to know from the learners who have joined with us today. I want to know more about your background so that I can take it in the base so that anyone can follow along with me. So please introduce yourself in the chat window by letting me know your name, where are you from, and what's your knowledge level in machine learning. Okay, so feel free to respond to me in the chat window, guys. I'll give you a minute. Okay, I see Darshan is a beginner. Okay, have got some knowledge on machine learning. Okay, thank you, Darshan. How about others? Okay, Sridhar. Okay, is okay, has got a beginner knowledge. Okay, I can say Savita. Savita is also a beginner in machine learning. Have got basic understanding on this. Okay, thank you, Savita. How about others, guys, who have joined with us today? So I can see most of the learners are actually beginner in nature. Okay, that's good to know. And how many of you have are aware of the NVIDIA certification or NVIDIA Generative AI certification? Okay, so let me know, guys. Are you guys aware of NVIDIA certification? Say yes or no in the chat window. Yes, yes. Okay, I can see multiple yeses right here. That's amazing. So let me just give you a background, guys, so that I can see a few no's right here. So the overall agenda of this session is to give you a preparation strategy and some of the key topics about the generative AI certification from NVIDIA. So here, when we talk about the certification of this generative AI LLMs, so this is a certification by NVIDIA, which is at the associate level. You can think of it as beginner to intermediate level. Now, this NVIDIA certified generative AI LLMs is an entry level credential that will validate your foundational concepts for developing, integrating, and maintaining of the AI-driven application using the generative AI and LLM. Okay, I see other responses too. I see Michael is aware of it. Okay, Dhirendra says no. Excellent, guys. Okay, so I hope that you got the perspective as what exactly is the agenda. So I'll take you through about how should be your preparation strategy when you're preparing for this NVIDIA certified generative AI LLM certification. Now, the reason that I wanted to talk about from the certification page because NVIDIA have recently launched their study guide as well. Previously, it was not there. They have launched the study guide and they have also specified the examination blueprint. Now, what we'll be focusing today is how you can prepare yourself about core machine learning, the kind of questions that you can expect, and I'll also take you through some of the important concepts in machine learning. So that would be the overall agenda. So this examination is priced at $135 and it's a multiple choice question. So the total number of questions is 50 and the total duration is 60 minutes, that is 1 hours. Okay. And the validity of the certification is 2 years from the issuance. So in after 2 years, obviously you will be requiring the recertification. All right. And let's take a look into the examination study guide that we have got. So this is the official examination study guide. And this topic of core machine learning and AI knowledge is very much important because this covers 30%. I'm not kidding, it covers 30% of the overall examination syllabus. So which means you have to understand in depth. I'll say not when I say in depth, you're not expected to work or do the coding over there. You're expected to know about the various topics at a very high level so that you can confidently answer in this examination. So let's follow the examination guide first and I'll walk you through it on this main topic of core machine learning and AI knowledge. And then I'll also provide you the topic-wise breakdown about how you should plan in preparing for this unit. All right. So is that sound okay, guys? So type yes in the chat window if you're with me and if you're aligned with this approach. Srimati, Savita, Sandy, Dheeraj, Deekshit, okay, uh, Samuel, excellent. So thank you so much, guys. To Dhirendra, perfect. So let's get started. So here, let's start with the core machine learning and AI knowledge. So everyone, I can see most of you have mentioned that you're aware of machine learning at a very high level. So when I say machine learning, it's a kind of system where it's an intelligent system where it will learn from the given data set, which means it will learn the pattern from the given data without we explicitly saying, hey, this is what the pattern would look like. So this overall topic that we have got is going to cover in those terms. And even though the topic says has machine learning, what you should be aware is the expectation is this topic also covers the deep learning aspects as well. So let's have a look into the examination topics that is expected. So here it says, even though it says core machine learning and AI knowledge, the topic description that you would see, personally, I feel a little confusing. Let me just take you through why. Let me just go through it and then I'll tell you why and how you should prepare yourself from my, I'll say from my experience as well as the interaction that I've got with multiple learners. So here it says, assist in deployment and evaluation of model scalability, performance, and the reliability under the supervision of senior team members, awareness of the process of extracting the insights from large data set using data mining, visualization, and similar techniques, build LLM use cases such as RAG chatbots and summarizers, curate and embed content data set for RAGs, familiarity with fundamentals of machine learning, which involves feature engineering, model comparison, cross-validation, familiarity with the capabilities of Python NLP, which means PACY, NumPy, vector databases, and you should be reading the research paper, select and use the models to create the text embeddings, use prompt engineering principles to create prompts to achieve desired results, and use the Python packages to implement the specific traditional machine learning analysis. Now, if you take it at a very high level, there are some of the topics which is out of the machine learning and AI knowledge. So what I would recommend you is go through the recommended training and that will actually give you the perspective as what is actually covered. Now, when we say AI, the expectation is you should be aware of what exactly is this generative AI. How does AI, that is generative AI, is different from traditional machine learning and deep learning. So one of the key differences in case of generative AI, it's a kind of artificial intelligence which is capable of generating the new content or a text based on the training data it has seen. It's very much different than our machine learning and deep learning, isn't it, guys? So in our deep learning and machine learning, we are going to generate the prediction based on the pattern that we have got in the data set. In some cases, we'll be reducing the dimension if in case we are talking about the dimensionality reduction algorithm. But the overall thing is, in case of machine learning and deep learning, we are going to find the pattern and we'll generate the prediction. But in case of generative AI, here we are going to learn the pattern from the training data set and we are going to create the content based on the data that we have seen. So that's one of the key things that you need to remember. Now, as part of this expectation, so you should be aware of what is generative AI, how it actually works. That means how these generative AI models are actually trained, various applications of generative AI, which involves text generation, content creation, maybe code help, marketing. So there are various use cases. You should be able to describe it at a very high level about where you can actually use this generative AI in real life and explain the challenges and opportunities of generative AI at a very high level. Some of the challenges that I can name right now is one, it's black box. It's very difficult to interpret those large language models, and training is very costly. We require humongous amount of data set, computation power, and it tends to have biases. It is very difficult to evaluate it. So you should be aware of these challenges as well. So that's the first thing that you should be aware. And the next one is basic idea of prompt engineering. So when we say prompt engineering, it's basically how you can devise an excellent prompt so that you can get the response from this generative AI. Now, how many of you have used the generative AI today? Dhirendra, okay, sorry, that's Darshan, sorry. Darshan, Lakshmikant, Savita, okay, Samuel. That's amazing, guys. So I can see most of you are responding as yes. Okay, I see more responses as well. That's amazing, which means you have actually used today. Now, when you think about how you have used that generative AI, so what you did, maybe you have opened your favorite generative AI application. It could be ChatGPT or it could be BERT. And what you did, you just sent an input for this generative AI application. You mentioned, uh, let's say, thank my interviewer, like whatever the one that I was there, I've just selected and it generated the response. Now, this input that I have sent right now, that's basically the prompt that I have sent for this generative AI. Okay. The way that you send the prompt is the one that is going to determine how the output from this generative AI would be. So it's very important from this topic perspective that you understand what are the ways in which you can actually generate the prompt and how you can send the input to this generative AI and how you can get the output in an effective manner. So that's a very important thing that you need to remember, which you have to prepare in this first unit, that is core machine learning and AI knowledge. And most importantly, team. So here you're expected to know about one of the very famous and an important research paper, attention is all you need. And also, it's recommended that how you can ensure that you're able to deploy the models that you have developed with different framework to the NVIDIA by making use of Onyx. So there are some links that is present. So I highly recommend you to check out the links. Now, how do you devise a plan right now? So because that's the reason that you have joined with me, isn't it, guys? So you have joined with me today to understand how you can prepare for this machine learning and AI knowledge unit. Well, let me just help you to break down as how you should prepare yourself for the unit. And I'll also share you some of the easy guide, and I'll also share you the already prepared presentation that I have made, the notes that I have made. I'll be sharing it with you in this learning session today so that you can access it for free and use it for your preparation. So who wants the free resources? So let me know. I want in the chat window. So if I receive more responses, I'm going to give the link right away, team. Okay, Rakshita. Okay, Samuel. Amazing, Joseph. All right, guys. Okay, I don't want to hold you. Okay, let me first share you the resources right away so that you can use it and you can actually use it for free and you can use it for your preparation. Okay, now let me remind you guys, the resource that I'll be sharing, it's a free resource. You can access it for free. It's part of our website. And let me just, I think it's better that I would share it to you right away and then show it to you on the screen. So what you need to do in order to access the resources, just go to the URL that I'm sharing here in the chat window and click on that link. Okay, this is the URL that we have got, which is live.manifoldailearning.in. Let me just share the link in the LinkedIn as well, because for some reason my streams would not be reaching, my text is not reaching LinkedIn directly. So I'm going to paste it directly in the LinkedIn as well. Okay, I've mentioned the link in the LinkedIn comment uh, of this event. You should be able to access it over there. See, once you click on the link, you'll be redirected to our site, that is live.manifoldailearning.in. So in order to access the slide resources, just go to the link. You don't have to pay anything. Just click on start a free trial, and slide resources for your certification learning journey is provided to you for free. That means if you're someone who wants to learn themselves and who wants to just get started with their certification journey, we are giving you the free slide access for everyone. So this slide resources that we have created, it's from our live bootcamp that we generally conduct. So we have trained more than hundreds of learners with various feedback that we have received. We have updated the slide curriculum and we are giving it to you for free. Now, if you feel like it's something that is useful for you, you can go ahead and check out the course that you would see right here. You can purchase it. This contains the self-paced courses. I'll talk more about it, but as I promised, I've shared you the resources. Just go over here, click on start a free trial, and you'll have the slide resources for free lifetime access. All right. So who thinks that this will be useful? Okay. Thank you, Darshan, Samuel. Okay. Sammy, Arpita. Perfect, guys. Okay. Now let's come back. So now that I've shared what I've promised, now let's come back and I want you to pay close attention for your learning journey, for your certificate preparation, guys. So here we've talked about the machine learning and the deep learning. Now, how do you get started or how should you plan for this core machine learning and AI knowledge? So if you're someone who is preparing for your learning journey, depending on your maturity in this topic of generative AI and machine learning, so I highly recommend you to start from the basics because since this is a beginner level certification, so it's very important that you know the basics as well. It can be as simple as what is machine learning and the types of machine learning. The type of questions that you would get is you are being given with a list of features. Now, which algorithm is suitable for uh, finding the pattern in this given features itself? Okay, so it's an unlabeled data. Now, which algorithm do you prefer if I want to group this data set? So, what do you think is the answer, guys? Okay, I see a response. Darshan says it's linear regression. So, Darshan, is it linear regression? How about others? What do you think? Is it linear regression if I have just features and I just have to find the patterns? Okay, yeah. So, Rakshita says it's clustering. That's correct. Okay, so that is what I would expect you to start it. Okay, now Dhirendra says I was looking for machine learning basics, means supervised and unsupervised. That's definitely that we'll be doing it, Dhirendra. So Dhirendra says unsupervised learning. That's correct, Dhirendra. You're correct. So that's how your learning journey should start. Then what you should do is, so once you have understood that data and the type of data it accepts, then you can prepare for the various algorithms that we have got for your learning journey. Okay, so I highly recommend you to learn the intuition behind each and every algorithm: logistic regression, linear regression, regularization techniques, gradient descent, the how you can evaluate the models for various tasks, that is for classification, regression, uh, like the ensemble learning and working with overfit and underfit, and like the basic stuff, which is very much essential. So those are the key things that you have to know. And even in the unsupervised learning, it's also important that you understand the various algorithms that we have got for performing the unsupervised learning. Then you can also, then you have to move on and cover the deep learning aspect as well. You have to be aware what kind of neural network architectures that we have got, that is deep learning neural network, convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network, LSTM. So what are these neural networks and what are the use cases of these neural networks? The problems during the training of this neural network, that is vanishing and exploding data set, like exploding radiance problem, the activation function, and what kind of tasks that you can use it for various deep learning models that we have got. And more importantly, once you cover it, it's also important you do a deep dive on this research paper, which is attention all you need, with some of the pre-processing techniques of NLP. That covers your main preparation for the machine learning and AI. Obviously, yes, this would also include just a high level understanding of generative AI and prompt engineering. So that is how you should be planning your preparation for the first unit, that is core machine learning and AI knowledge. Okay. So any questions so far, guys? Any questions so far? So if you're clear so far, please confirm by typing in as all good. If you've got any question, please feel free to let me know. Okay, thank you, Darshan. Uh, Thank you, Sammy. Okay, thank you, Diksha. How about others? Any questions so far? Are you clear? Thank you, Rajitesh. Excellent, guys. So now that this is clear, so now that I've given you a kind of understanding about uh, what exactly is this topic, I mean, what exactly is this course is we have got. Okay, now let's try to understand some of the basics of machine learning, which is what I had promised right now as part of this learning journey. So I've given you the enough knowledge for the intermediate learners. Now let's come back and understand some of the basic definition of machine learning, the basic knowledge that is very much essential from this first unit, that is from core machine learning standpoint. All right. So are we good to start? If yes, please confirm by typing in as yes. And I see a question from Dhirendra. Dhirendra says, I'm already registered with your stats and maths course and MLOps on Udemy, but haven't seen any machine learning course. Please suggest any good material from where I can learn machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so what you can do is, Dhirendra, you can check out the course that we have got at Manifold AI Learning. So some of the courses that I would recommend are maybe for learning the machine learning and deep learning. You can check out the Universal Deep Learning Mastery. This is with TensorFlow. This is with PyTorch. And for learning the machine learning in general, maybe you can also check out the AWS certification, where we have described the machine learning in depth. Optionally, if you're someone who is just interested to just to clear the NVIDIA certification, you can also check out the NVIDIA certification as well. Okay. Now, any other questions, team? Perfect. Okay. So I see most of you have confirming. Thank you, Dhirendra. Thank you, Lakshmikant. Perfect. Now, let's take a look into some of the basics of machine learning. Okay. So let's start by the definition. Okay. What exactly is this machine learning and why is it actually important? Now, when I say machine learning, okay, it's a we call it as a branch of AI where it will learn from the data set. That means it will learn the pattern from data set without being explicitly programmed. Now, what does it mean? So I'll give you a very simple example about this machine learning that will give you a clear idea. Now think about how you have actually learned or how you have started your learning journey when you were a child. So when you were a child, if you remember, or if your kids go to school, so can you think about how does the learning would start for a child? Anyone? If you have got any kids who goes to the preschool, can you tell me how they actually teach if they want to teach the children as how does an object would look like? Okay, so Rakshita says they'll give some model or they'll show the real object. That's amazing. So folks, what happens is if you remember your childhood or if you remember like how we teach the small children, we are going to show an object. If I want to teach a child as how does an apple would look like, I'll not describe as, hey, this apple will have this color. The apple will have the radius of 5 centimeter. It looks like a circle, and there will be some bulge on top, and there will be some green color over there. There will be some dots over there. I'll not describe those individual attributes about the apple. So what I do, I'll just go ahead and I'll take maybe I'll go to the market, I'll bring some apples of various sizes and various shape, and I will go ahead and uh, I would go ahead and say, okay, hey, this is how an apple would look like. So we'll just show the pictures of apple, and the child is able to reconnect. Okay, the child is going to observe how does the apple would look like. Now, when you take the child to the market, so the child, he or she, will be able to identify, hey, that's what an apple is. So what has happened in this case? We have taught a child to understand how does the apple would look like by showing the pictures or by showing the apples itself. Now that's what the same thing happens in the case of machine learning. So in case of machine learning, we are going to learn, okay? We are going to learn the pattern from the data set itself. We will learn the pattern directly from the data set. So in the case of machine learning, the algorithms that we choose, it will learn the pattern from the given data set without we explicitly programmed. So that's the idea about this machine learning. So if I want to teach the machine learning algorithm, I'll just provide some examples that I've got. And using this example, the machine learning algorithm is going to find the pattern. So that's the core idea of machine learning. Now you might be wondering, as how is it helpful for us? Well, think about it. So think about explaining this apple to the machine itself, to the computer. Is it possible for you to explain? No, it's not possible because the apples are complex in nature, and there's a lot of sizes of apple. There will be apples of different sizes, different weight. So it's very difficult to just generalize as how does an apple would look like. So the better way is share as much examples as possible and then find the patterns on it. So when I talk about the machine learning is a branch of AI where it will learn from the pattern it will learn the pattern from the data set without explicitly programmed. Without explicitly programmed. Okay. So is everyone clear on this definition of machine learning? So if you're clear, please confirm clear by typing in the chat window. Okay, Samuel. Okay, Rakshita. Perfect, guys. So now that you're clear about what is machine learning, okay, now that you're clear what is machine learning. So one of the key topic that you need to know is what are the types of machine learning? What are the types of machine learning? Now that's the next question that we have got. When we talk about the types, we generally describe the machine learning as two types. One is supervised machine learning, and the other type we call it as unsupervised machine learning. Now, apart from that, we also have something called as reinforcement learning. Okay, so these are the three types of machine learning at a very high level. So let's understand each of them so that we have some general perspective about it. Now, when we talk about supervised machine learning, see, in the case of the supervised machine learning, what you will be having is you will have the examples with you. So we call it as the label data set. We will have a label data set, and using this label data set, we are going to train the machine learning algorithm. So when I say label data set, what does it contain? So let's take up a very simple example. Let's say you want to predict the house prices in your society or in your locality. So what you need, you want to predict the house prices. Okay, you are living in a area and you want to predict what would be the house prices in the area. So what you need if you want to uh, build a model which can predict the house prices, or if you want to build something or a program that can build the models. So the first step that you will do is you will go ahead and collect the data. So what you will do, you'll collect the historical data. So you would go ahead and collect the data of house prices in that area where you want to analyze, maybe from past 10 years. You will go ahead and collect the data. And this data will have the information. It will have the information such as the information about the houses. I'll say attribute of the houses. What are the attributes? It will have the area, like we call it as a carpet area. It will have the information about whether the car parking is available and how many rooms that it has got, and it has got whether it has got garden or not. And and you'll also like have some more information like what is the distance from nearest hospital, and maybe a distance to school. So that data will have all these information in the historical data, and it also has the information about when the data was collected, what was the house price as well. Okay, you'll also have, I'll call it as the target, okay, which is nothing but the house price as well. So what you have done is you want to predict the house prices. So in order to predict the house prices, you have collected the historical data, and this historical data has got some information like carpet area, car parking, rooms, garden, distance from hospital, and you also have at that point when the data was collected, what was the selling price of that house. So you have attributes, and at that time, what is the price of the house? Now, what you will do is you will provide your historical information of both attributes and target to what we call it as machine learning algorithm. And what this is going to do is it will try to identify the relationship between the attributes that you have got in the data set and the house price. So it will try to find the relationship between carpet area and house price, car parking and house price, number of rooms and house price, garden size and house price, maybe distance from hospital, distance from school and house price. So it will go ahead and find the relationship between the various attributes of my house to my house price. So just like in the previous example, the child has learned how does the apple would look like by looking at various picture. In this case, the machine learning algorithm will look into the historical data. Maybe I'll have 100,000 rows of my data set. I'll look into this historical data and it will go ahead and find the relationship between these two. So once it has identified the relationship, now what you have got as an output, you have got the trained model. Call it as the trained model. Now, once I have my trained model, what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and send in the information of the house that I want to predict. So this house, let's say it has got 5 rooms and it has got 2 car parking, and maybe carpet area is maybe 2,400 square feet, and maybe it has got a big garden, I'll say 200, or some two garden, I'll just say as two. Distance from hospital is maybe just 1 mile or 1 kilometer, and distance from school is, let's say, 0.5 mile. Now with these information, you will send the data to the trained model, and your trained model will tell me, your trained model will tell us as what is the house price of this house. So what has happened, I'll just give you a quick recap. You have collected the historical data, and in this historical data, you have the features of the house as well as the target that you want to predict. So now you have fed both features and the target to the machine learning algorithm. And this machine learning algorithm learned this pattern, and we call it as trained model. And for this trained model, I'm going to send in the new data, and this new data is going to generate the house price, which is nothing but the prediction. So in this case, the overall activity that I have done right now, that's the process that we follow in this supervised machine learning. Okay, the overall process that I followed, it's called as supervised machine learning. And we call it as supervised machine learning because the training of my machine learning algorithm is done. Okay, the training of this machine learning algorithm is done on the basis of this given data set, that is attribute and the target. Okay, so that is what a supervised machine learning is. So are you clear? Are you able to follow along with me so far? So if you're able to follow along with me so far, please confirm yes in the chat window. Okay, Rakshita, Darshan, uh, okay, Nick, okay, I see a response from Ria. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, how about others? Are you able to follow along so far? Okay, Dhirendra. Okay, perfect, guys. Thank you so much, team, for your confirmation. Yes. So now that this is clear, okay, now that this is clear, let's move ahead and let's take a look into the another uh, uh, algorithm that we have got, that's called as the unsupervised machine learning. So let's try to understand about this unsupervised machine learning. Okay, So here, when we talk about the unsupervised machine learning, what happens is in the case of this unsupervised machine learning, so what you will have is you'll just have the data set. Okay, what we call it as you'll just have only attributes about the data set. So think of it this in this example. Okay, so you'll just have only the attributes that you would see right here that I've explained earlier. So you have the information of where are various houses that you have got in your area. Now, once you have the various houses that you have got in your area, now the expectation is you want to go ahead and find the patterns that you have got in this in the houses that you have got in the given area. Now that's a new task. So what you will do, you will go ahead and make use of the historical data and you will try to find the pattern. And you will say that, okay, I have found some houses. They're having, let's say, small square feet and they are far away from school. Okay, maybe these are the houses that have got and they are present in this area. And you will also go ahead and find some houses which are very big in size and they are nearest to the school and they are costly. So what you have done is you have grouped the data set based on the attributes that you have found. So at the beginning, okay, you didn't knew anything. You didn't knew anything about the house. So what you did, you just took the random pieces and you just arranged based on how the similarities of the items are. So it's like you'll give an item to the child or some items to the child, and the child is going to maybe group it based on the shapes. You have some shapes in a box which is jumbled, and the child is going to just sort it triangles as one group, squares as another group, and circle are another group. So how do you group it? You will group it by comparing the items against each other. So this is called as unsupervised machine learning. So when you have just only features or only attributes, that's when we call it as unsupervised learning. So is it clear so far, guys? Is it unsupervised learning? Is it clear to you now? Perfect. So Lakshmikant, Samyukta, excellent guys. I'm liking this crowd. So you guys are really interactive. So I recommend you to be interactive in the same way so that you'll get the most of this session. Okay, Vincent, perfect guys. Ruhi, excellent. So what you have learned? You have learned two things: supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Then moving on, what we'll learn, let's take up the reinforcement learning. Now, in the case of this reinforcement learning, so what is reinforcement learning? I'll tell you a very simple example. See, reinforcement learning is a type of system where we will learn from experience. So think about it. So if any movie is launched or if any mobile phone is launched, so what do you normally do? You will go ahead and you will learn more about that product by going through the product reviews which have been submitted by the other users. So what are you doing over there? Before you buy any product or before you invest something, you will go ahead and check for reviews. So what are you doing right now? So whenever you check the product reviews, you are actually learning more about that product from the experience of other users. And the same thing that you would apply in your own life as well. Let's say you go to a restaurant. Now, when you go to a restaurant, you will order a food. Now, if the food turns out to be very good, now what are you going to do? Next time when you visit that hotel or restaurant, you will definitely order that same food because you have actually liked it. On the other hand, if opposite has happened, you hated that food. So what will you do at that time? So you will share your experience, you will ensure that like the other people or 100 other people will know more about it. So the idea is, yes, human, learn from experience. And reinforcement learning is training the algorithm such that it will learn from the experience. We call it as the agent. We are going to train the agent from the experience. So how does the experience would come? We are going to train it in what we call it as the virtual environment or a simulator that we are going to create. We'll have to create the virtual environment. and this agent will take certain action, and based on the action we are going to assign the reward. If the action is suitable, we'll increase the reward. If the action is not suitable for the agent, we are going to add the penalty. It's very much similar to the Pac-Man game. So how many of you guys have played the Pac-Man game in your childhood? See, in the Pac-Man game, so what you will do is, like, I'll just show you right away. It's very fun, and I'm sure everyone can relate to it. So what happens in the Pac-Man game? So you will have to uh, collect the points, as many points as possible. Think of the Pac-Man game that you have got as an agent. Now the goal is to collect as many points as possible. In other case, in the reinforcement learning perspective, you want to collect as many reward points as possible. And each time when you lose a point, lose yourself by hitting something or getting by the other characters. So what you will going to do? So you are going to lose the point, which is nothing but the penalty. So here I'm collecting the points. Now when I hit any character, I'm going to lose it. So this is the kind of reward and penalty system. Now, if we train our model, okay, if we make use of such technique in training our algorithm, we call it as reinforcement learning. Now, there's a lot of things that happens in the background. There's a lot of, I'll say, an interesting mathematical intuition behind it. But for someone who's new, just think about it. Reinforcement learning is building a system which is capable of learning from the past experience, which generally works on the reward penalty system. So that's the kind of this reinforcement learning. And this is very powerful algorithm. It is used in some of the interesting applications such as self-driving car. So it is used in various other systems where we want the system to take the action autonomously. Now, obviously, when you start training it, you'll not train it in real world environment. You'll actually train it in the simulation environment. Then only you will release it to the public. So that's the overall background about this reinforcement learning. Okay. So are you clear so far, guys, about this reinforcement learning and the types of machine learning? Okay. Thank you, Vishnu. I see Vishnu says all good. Uh, okay. Mike, Sridhar, Shravan, Siva. Okay. Excellent, guys. Thank you so much for your confirmation. Okay. So I can see most of you have responded yes. And okay, I remember there was a query earlier as how can I learn the okay, there was a question. I think it's Sandhya who had asked me about the machine learning, about how can I learn. Okay, I'll talk more about the same, Sandhya, at a later point. Okay, so what you have seen so far is what is machine learning and the types of machine learning. So now that this is clear, now what are the types of supervised machine learning? Now let's have a look into the same. Now when we describe the types of supervised machine learning, here, under the types of supervised machine learning, we have regression, we have classification. So let's try to understand both. So what is regression? So here the types of supervised learning. But before I go over there, okay, tell me if what I'm saying is correct or not. Okay, supervised machine learning is a type of machine learning where we have just given features and there is no target or there is no label. So am I saying it correctly? What do you say, guys? Supervised machine learning is a type of algorithm where there is no target. We just have attributes. So am I saying correctly? Is it correct? No. So because supervised machine learning, as we have seen, we have both features and target. Okay. So I was just testing you guys. That's correct, Dhirendra. That's correct, Sachin. Okay. So that means in the supervised machine learning, we have a target. Now the type of supervised machine learning is dependent on the target variable. What kind of target variable that I've got? That's that is determining whether we are performing the regression or classification. If the target is continuous, that is numerical in nature, then it's regression. If the target is categorical, then it's a classification. That's how we classify the supervised machine learning. So I'll give you an example. I want to predict the house price. So if I want to predict the house price is a numerical value. So if it's a numerical value, it's a regression. Or I want to go ahead and classify whether the patient is maybe having a certain condition or not, then that's a classification. So depending on my target variable, we'll classify the algorithm as a regression, that is supervised machine learning algorithm as regression and classification. Okay, so this is about the types of machine learning. We also call it as the task that we generally perform when we are working with the supervised machine learning. Now, under this regression, we have various machine learning algorithms. We have got linear regression. We have got support vector regression. We have got decision tree regressor. We have random forest regressor. And we have maybe ensemble learning. I'll just say ensemble learning in general. Okay, so we have KNN regressor. So like this, we have various algorithms in order to perform this regression. Similarly, have the various algorithm for classification too. We have logistic regression, we have decision tree classifier, and we have support vector classifier. I have random forest uh, classifier. Okay, so we have bagging classifier, boosting classifier, XGBoost. So these are all the various algorithms that we have got in order to perform this classification. Okay, so that's the core idea about the types or tasks of supervised machine learning. Okay, so we can use all these algorithms respectively in order to find the patterns in this given data set. Okay, now let's talk about the task for unsupervised learning. Now, when we talk about task for unsupervised learning, so one of the common tasks is clustering. So clustering is nothing but grouping the data points based on the data point similarity itself. That's called as clustering. Then the other task on the unsupervised learning is recommendation system. Here can make use of various similarities and go ahead and build a recommendation system based on the given data set. This is another task in supervised machine learning. Then we have something called as market basket analysis, where I can go ahead and analyze a set of transactions and find the relationship between the items. Okay, so I can say these are the three core tasks in unsupervised learning. We also have something called as dimensionality reduction. So here, these are the core tasks that we will do whenever we are performing this unsupervised learning. So when I say clustering, it is about given the set of data points, I want to group those data points depending on the similarity of the data points. And we have a recommendation system. The recommendation system is a kind of system which is very much similar to what you would experience in Amazon or any e-commerce website. So you can actually use this recommendation system. Like if you have used it, it will show, okay, if you have purchased this product, I'm going to recommend you the product B. Like if you purchase an iPhone, I'm going to recommend you a charger. Or if you're going to purchase a mobile phone, I'll be recommending you a back cover. So that's a kind of a overall job of this recommendation system. And when I say market basket analysis, so to explain you this, think about how each items are actually arranged in a supermarket. There's a lot of tech that goes behind in arranging the items in the supermarket, believe it or not, guys. So that's called as the market basket analysis. So these days we have a system which will analyze the products that they have got in their store, and based on the products in that store, actually they will arrange in a specific way so that the customers can find it. So how many of you agree that when you visit a supermarket, you will end up buying more than what you intend to? So has it ever happened to you? Yes. So I can see most of the answers are yes. So that's happening because of the way that they have arranged the items, and the way that they have created the deals for us. So that's called as the market basket analysis. And dimensionality reduction is nothing but reducing the number of dimensions for a given data set. Now, this is essential, especially when we are dealing with very large data set. All right, guys. So what we have seen so far is what exactly is this machine learning? So we started our agenda of understanding about the NVIDIA certification, the preparation strategies that you need to follow for this basic machine learning unit. And now I've also shown you about, we've also discussed about some of the core concepts about working and understanding this machine learning. Now, I'm going to share some of the key resources that would definitely help you in your learning journey. So I would highly recommend you to check out our page. So if you're someone who's serious about preparing yourself for the NVIDIA certification, do check out. We have got two self-paced courses at Manifold AI Learning. So if my style of teaching is resonating with you, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the courses with Manifold AI Learning. You might have experienced my teaching through other boot camps or other live sessions too. So there's a self-paced course on NVIDIA certification. I'm just sharing the link over here. And there is a live boot camp as well, where I'll be there in person, like in person in the sense online, where we'll have a live boot camp, which is an examination preparation boot camp from Manifold AI Learning. You can check out this too. And there's also for the learners who are new to generative AI, Python, machine learning, if you're someone who's serious about understanding all those technologies, understanding from scratch, you can also check out our upcoming cohort on Python for generative AI data science bootcamp. So you can get the complete information from this page, that is Python for generative AI bootcamp. I'll be sharing all, I've shared all the links right now in our in the Windows, guys. Let me just share it again. Okay, this is for Python for generative AI, and you can check the NVIDIA certification courses through this link. Okay, so do check out this link. So these prices that you see, they're all the early bird pricing. And more importantly, if you're someone who's seriously preparing for the NVIDIA certification, whether you I would highly recommend you to check out, by starting the free trial, check out the slide resources that will be a benefit for you in your learning journey, guys. All right, folks. So uh, I'll be here on call to answer any of the queries that you might have. And let me remind you guys, if you're registering while I'm in the session, you'll also get one of the free self-paced courses from Manifold AI Learning if you register within 7 minutes. Okay, I'll be here on call. So for someone who's going to register in 7 minutes, you're also going to get any one of the self-paced course for free if you purchase any of the course in the Manifold AI Learning site. So I'll be there for 7 minutes. Once that is done, so you'll not be able to claim that offer. So this offer is valid on the NVIDIA certification, self-paced, or it's valid on the live boot camps of the Manifold AI Learning. Okay, I'll be there to answer any of the queries that you might have. And I wish you a wonderful day or wonderful night, guys, depending on where you are at. So I look forward to seeing you next time, guys. And Vishnu says, NVIDIA certification is a recognized one. So this will help you to prepare for your NVIDIA certification. That's true, because NVIDIA, as you know, they have started their own certification, and this is one of the most in-demand certification that we see these days in the generative AI domain, Vishnu. Okay, and any other questions, folks? Okay, I see Dheeraj. Let me check Dheeraj. Dheeraj says he has registered. Let me give you a confirmation. Okay, I can see Dheeraj have registered. So Dheeraj, I welcome you for the cohort. So I welcome you for this live bootcamp on NVIDIA certified generative AI LLMs. Okay, Pratiksha says, I want to join for a cohort for Python for data science. What is covered? Okay, sure, Pratiksha. So Pratiksha, in this cohort of Python for generative AI data science, so the total duration is 50 hours. You can see it's 9 p.m. IST to 11 p.m. IST. It starts with 29 July 2024. It's a weekday batch. So it covers everything: Python fundamentals, Python for data science, machine learning algorithms, deep learning foundation, along with building the generative AI application. So all these are covered in depth, and it's a live session, instructor-led session. So current program is currently running. Once that, yeah, it will be scheduled on time. Okay. Yeah, that's correct, Pratiksha. It's valid for just few days. This is just the early bird offer. Then it will be or back to the original price. All right. Okay, that's amazing, Sridhar. Okay, I'm excited for you as well, Sridhar. Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay. Oh, that's amazing, Dhirendra. Definitely. I look forward to seeing you. And I wish you all the very best, Dhirendra. Yes, I highly recommend you to complete the courses. And yes, you can definitely take. All right. Any other questions, folks? Okay. I'll be there on mute, guys. In case if you have got any question, do let me know. So it's just a timer to like once I end the session, you'll not be able to avail the offer. So check out the link and get that offer if you're someone who is registering on the session. So once I close it, so it will be disabled from the backend. I'll be on mute, guys. In case if you have got any question, please feel free to let me know. Okay, Sri Raksha, and I can see Lakshmikant. Yes, we have received your admission confirmation. Congratulations, Sri Raksha. Okay. Okay, thank you guys for joining in. I'll be ending the call now. Hope to see you next time. Take care.